Welcome to English with Limonada. In today's video we are going to master the flap T, the American R. Mastering the American flap T, unlocking native fluency with the Spanish secret. Well, this video is especially for non-native speakers which their native tongue is Spanish. So, first of all, we need to learn a few key terminologies. Flap T. Flap T or D sound becomes a quick voice tap, similar to a soft R. And how is it produced? It is produced in the alveolar ridge, the bumpy area just behind your upper front teeth, where your tongue taps. This is the alveolar ridge. So basically, this is the tongue. If we can see here, this is the tongue, and the tongue, it's making this sound ra 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 ra, rrr, like in pero, as in Spanish. Because the tongue is touching, it's like a high five in the alveolar ridge. The alveolar ridge is this part of the mouth. So, and why is so important? Because it helps us natural flow of speech, changing sounds at word boundaries. So basically we are going to be able to speak smoothly. And also it is an ability of your mouth to produce sounds automatically through repeated practice. As we can see here, we see it as a muscle memory, because this is a muscle memory. This secret method. So we need to learn what is this secret method, because you're probably gonna think, oh yes, I would like to speak like a native speaker, but how do I make it? You already know this sound. As a Spanish speaker, you already use the flap T every single day. We use the flap T and we didn't even know. So, if we speak in Spanish, we say the word pero. Pero, 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 pero. Say the Spanish word pero out loud. Notice your tongue at that single R. It's a quick, light tap. It's tapping pero, pero, pero inside of your mouth. It's like saying water, 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 or better, as we can see in these examples here. Water or better. Americans use the flap R as a pero. Its next meaning. So, applying this secret, instead of focusing on English spelling, use your native language phonetics. So we need to focus on our own native phonetics. So this is a thing that I have been like wondering like for a couple of years, like, oh my god, how is the correct way to pronounce? But what happens here if I use my native tongue to pronounce English words? I know it's a little bit complicated, but I'll be explaining in detail in a little bit. So as we can see here, say this in Spanish, read this in Spanish. What happens if we read it in Spanish? So if we read this in Spanish, we say wa rer water. Yes, in Spanish. What happens if we read this in Spanish? Water. we are saying water in English. For water, I'm better. Instead of saying better, we say better. This is what I was saying about if we use our own phonetics system to learn the English pronunciation as in Spanish speaker, it will become easier. You don't have any the potential does this have. Focus on the flow. So, the fast work link trick, because this is a link trick. Natural, fluent American speaker often get lazy to maintain rhythm when a word ends in T or D, and the next begin with a vowel. The sounds become a flapped T or D. Read it in Spanish. To master connected speech, read these phrases like Spanish words. So this is the thing that I was saying. So what happens if we use our own Spanish phonetics to pronounce English pronunciation? I know it sounds weird, but with practice and understanding you will notice. Look, if we see, I'm gonna put this like you cannot see it. I'm gonna put it like you cannot see it. How do we do this? If we see this, put it on. Put it on. How do we use the flap R here? But what happens if we use the Spanish phonetics? It will become put it on, put it on, put it on, put it on, put it on. I know if we read it with the R, the Spanish R, it will not sound the same, but as a native, but because the R it's different in English. Put it on, 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 put it on. But a native speaker will understand you. So the next one, get out. Instead of saying get out, we can say get out. Get out. Get out. Shut up. Shut up. We can say shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Well, if you actually read this in Spanish, we will say shut up. But we are making a mistake here, because if we say shut up, we are pronouncing double R, like in perro. Or we are talking about a single R, like in pero. One single R, not double R. So it's very important to keep in mind. Shut up. Using Spanish phonetics helps you bypass the hard T trap and achieve natural American rhythm. So this new system, it's like it's like a whole new level of pronunciation. So we need to practice. I'll let you a few more times and you will tell me in a second. Okay, you are done. Okay. Spanish practice. Not at all. We put it here and we put not at all. Not at all. About it. The C. About it. Had at. I had a dream. I had a dream. What is it? If we read it in Spanish, phonetic, what is it? What is it? Remember, using the flap T, like the tongue need to touch the upper palate. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? Yeah, you might pass the class. Welcome. So, the light bulb tap exercise. So, first of all, we need to learn how is the tongue position. This is like a recap of everything that we have learned. So, positioning. Place the tip of the tongue on the alveolar ridge right behind your teeth, as we can see in this picture. Put the tip of the tongue here. This is your tongue, and you put your tip of the tongue here in the alveolar ridge. Then, the speed drill. Say the strong T. How do we say the strong T? We say T, T, T with air, then switch to fast R. Ra 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 ra. Ra 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 ra. Like the Spanish R. Then in the next one, the drop in. Take that fast light tap and drop it in the word city. So this is a perfect example. If we want to make like the flap R in this word city, how we will say this? We say city. If you read it like in Spanish phonetic, it will be pronounced city. Keep it relaxed and effortless. So let's understand. Check your understanding. Why does this fast word link trick work for Spanish speakers? Fast word link. It teaches you how to pronounce a difficult new consonant. It helps you use the Spanish R. Remember, we are like searching for what is this methodology. Is so useful for us to pronounce better. So it's the number 2. It helps you use the Spanish R to connect English word natural, because grammar is not. Grammar rules. American English, they don't care about grammar. I don't know why so many people are like obsessed with that. It demonstrates how to speak English very slowly and clearly. Well, this can also be, but we are mainly with this one, the Spanish R, the number 2. Yes, it's the number 2. It helps you use the Spanish R to connect English word naturally. So let it put it in practice. So we are with a couple of friends, we need to put it in practice. Think about the phrase, I bought a lot of it. So I bought a lot of it. So you're talking with your friends and we put it in practice. I bought a lot of it. How will you write that out using the Span English method to help a friend say with a perfect American English? So if you want a friend like, I bought a lot of it. Well, let's see how is it. If we read it like in Spanish, I bought a lot of it. But well, it sounds like I bought a lot of it. 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 Really interesting, because but becomes bora. O sea, the word bought, which means comprar, it becomes this is my spelling, really bad spelling, because the word bought, so it's pronounced bora using the flap R and flap T. Falls between the two vowels because it falls between the two vowels. Lot of. So we see this. It is like a flap R because it is between, the T is between two unstressed vowels, syllables. It's on within stressed syllable, and it's between two vowels. Becomes lot of, for the same reasons. So that's why we say in this way. Summary. So we need to understand what we learn this. The sound. The American flap T is identical to the single Spanish R. It's identical. Pero the mechanics. It is a light tap on the alveolar ridge, not to bars of air. Remember the picture that we see? Yeah, that one. Linking. Use the flap to connect words ending in T or D with words starting with the vowels. So the next step, listen for these sounds in movies and music. Whenever you see a T between vowels, remember the Spanish secret and let your tongue tap lightly. So we need to use the Spanish secret. This is a secret, and I am telling you a secret right now. And this is the picture. So remember, the tongue must tap here. Ra 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 ra. Better, lighter. Alveolar reached. So this is for today's video. I hope you have learned a lot.